From Twin Peaks, Season 2, Episode 1, created by David Lynch. Hello again. Can you see through a wall? Can you see through human skin? X-rays see through solid or so-called solid objects. There are things in life that exist, and yet our eyes cannot see them. Have you ever seen something startling that others cannot see? Why are some things kept from our vision? Is life a puzzle? I am filled with questions. Sometimes my questions are answered. In my heart, I can tell if the answer is correct. I am my own judge. In a dream, are all the characters really you? Different aspects of you? Do answers come in dreams? One more thing. I grew up in the woods. I understand many things because of the woods. Trees standing together, growing alongside one another, providing so much. I chew pitch gum. On the outside, let's say of the ponderosa pine, sometimes pitch oozes out. Runny pitch is no good to chew. Hard, brittle pitch is no good. But in between, there exists a firm, slightly crusted pitch with such a flavor. This is the pitch I chew. This is Gothic. So our last game did not really end on a cliffhanger. I mean, everybody had gotten away from the forest safe-ishly. So let's do some catching up. Hey, happy Cinco de Mayo. That's when we're recording this. Of course, that will be well in the past by the time this episode comes out.
May your Mayos all be happy and healthy.
The Mayo will be with you always.
May your week after Cinco de Mayo be excellent. I got my second COVID shot today.
Nice.
So in 2 weeks, I can dance naked in the streets.
And you can, because it's Portland.
And you can, because it's Portland, and as long as you are making a statement of some sort, you can do whatever you want naked.
Yep.
Which in Portland, I just want to be naked.
Is a statement.
Yeah,
statement.
this is true.
Totally a statement. But for Cinco de Mayo, I celebrated and I was celebrating my second COVID vaccine I went kayaking, and then I came back and I made the appropriate food for Cinco de Mayo, which was a bacon, mushroom, and cheese pizza on a Tostino's base. And then I had a mezcal margarita with it.
Okay, that actually does sound good.
that is totally as Mexican as anything else we do for Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, for real.
Sorry, I can't record anymore. I'm now hungry. I'll be back in a little bit.
Look what you've done.
I put a picture of it on Facebook so you can take a look at my food and my margarita. Although I should also mention that I had 2 of the margaritas, so we'll see how tonight's game goes.
Woo!
Oh, what's everybody else been up to?
I just had a nice lazy day, did some chores, and I went for a walk out at Hoyt Arboretum, and I was walking down by the creek down there in the Redwood area of the Arboretum, and I saw this rabbit. And because I'm white, I'm contractually obligated to say bunny out loud every time I see a bunny. And so I said bunny, but I mispronounced it. And so I ended up shouting bon me at this fleeing, terrified small animal.
Although I think that may just be because you're Sharon. I don't think it's a requirement for like all white people.
I'm a white woman named Sharon, so therefore I'm contractually there's a
I'm going to bring that one up before the council, because
Bunny.
Yeah, Jesse, how did you spend your Cinco de Mayo pre-recording time?
Mostly working.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, but it was nice. I mean, I had a nice journey home on the train and the bus from Gresham to Tigard. So yeah, that was was a good little trip, but it was really nice
Yeah.
outside, and there was some fun people on the trail.
I got to socialize with some people at a distance while I was kayaking. People were asking me about my kayak from the shore, and I had to admit, it's an Ozark Trails. I bought it at Walmart. But it has slots for a fishing pole and stuff too. So it's like
That's nice.
it's like a fishing kayak.
It looks like one of those. It's not one of those super long like ocean kayaks, but it's not a super short one either. It looks like it's a nice size.
Yeah, and it's a little wider than some. So I don't think it's as fast. I haven't had a lot of kayaks. Okay, so I haven't had any kayaks. I've used a few on river trips where I've rented them, but this is the first one I've owned. I have a paddleboard, but so I think there's probably faster kayaks.
Oh,
but
definitely.
it's comfy. It's got a big.
Yeah. I went for the in-between kayak also.
This one has a big seating area that's open, and so I can if my legs get tired of being in one position, I can change around some.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they apologized for taking up my time, and I was like, it's kind of nice to just socialize with complete strangers.
I know, right?
I don't get to do that anymore.
It's like there's other people.
Yeah, boy, when I first went to get my first shot, standing in line outside of the, to be led into the area where we were getting our shots, I was looking around. I'm like, there's got to be like 40 people here. This is so many people. I've never seen this many people. 40 people. It was weird how big of a crowd it felt.
Well, you didn't get yours at the convention center here. You got yours down in Salem.
Yeah, no. So they had us in one of those like back and forth zigzaggy lines. And then you went inside the, it's a county fairgrounds, so I imagine there's fairground stuff in it, but it reminded me of a school, auditorium or big gym or something. And so that was where they had the interior part where they would, get all your paperwork done and then give you the shot.
Well, I was in the convention center, and of course, huge, and I was wearing my, CoronaCon shirt, which I'm wearing right now, as everyone out there listening can see. And I got, for my second shot, the exact same person who gave me my first shot. Out
That's
of
kinda cool.
all the dozens and dozens and dozens of people there that are giving shots, I managed to get the same one.
Were you like old friends by that point? You're like, Frank.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I remember that shirt, she says, because I wore it both times that I went. And then she said, I think I'm wearing the same shirt, too. But, so Richard, how about you? Anything exciting in the life of Richard?
Not particularly. We have a new dog park here in town.
Ooh.
Wow.
And since we have a fairly new dog, we've been taking advantage of that. Actually, it just opened on the 1st, but they did like a 2-week soft opening, and we went all in and bought the membership ahead of time. But they've got actually 2 different large outdoor off-leash park areas. They have a big patio with a bar, and that's dog friendly, but that is a leash area. They also have like a big daycare inside and outside. So, if you need to drop your puppy off for the day, we're big fans, but it's been kind of fun to go out there and meet a lot of new people, new dog people. And we actually just yesterday, I think it was, they adopted the latest CDC guidelines to where you can be outside without a mask.
If you're vaccinated.
If you're vaccinated, which has been kind of nice because, that it's a large area. So we've been able to socially distance pretty well and still talk. You can carry on a conversation from, 10 feet away. It's been funny. They still develop like the old circles, like all the parents, as we call ourselves, kind of just make a circle. They're just larger than they used to be. And then the dogs run around like crazy. So, cause that's what they do.
That's great.
So you have to get a subscription fee or something.
Well, they do a yearly membership, and that gets you access to all the off leash areas.
Boy, everything's subscription now, isn't it? Dang.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Can
really
you get a bundle with ESPN and
it does give you a discount on the beer.
I mean, that's kind of nice.
And that takes us back into the Gothic Podcast. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
You want my story? You're going to think I'm crazy. I don't even know where to begin. We were searching the outer road because Skeen was supposed to be driving out there, and we found their car in a ditch. We heard a shotgun blast coming from the cabin nearby, so we went up to the cabin, heard something in the woods, and then we were getting shot at by arrows. Friggin' arrows, man. So we duck into the cabin. We find Skeen, shotgun in hand. Decided to barricade up the door and the windows when arrows start flying through the windows. Decided to find some other weapons. Of course, there was the shotgun that Skeen had. I found an axe out by the wood pile. There was a fireplace poker and some knives. Then we heard something crash through the backside of the cabin. Skeen goes to check it out, just blasting away with the shotgun. And then, looking out the window, we see these people they were wearing rabbit heads. This creepy-ass rabbit cult, okay? Torches came flying through the window next we knew. Blankets were on fire. We knew we just had to get out. We went in the back to find Skeen, and there was some more of the creepy rabbit people back there. There were knives involved, axes. There was blood. And I think I killed someone. But we had to escape. We were scared. It just seemed like they wanted us dead. So we were trying to get out, and we jumped out the window, found ourselves surrounded by the creepy-ass rabbit cult again, and then again with the arrows. Next thing I remember after that, we were waking up as they were dragging us into a clearing, and then the police showed up. They came driving right up with, their lights just going everywhere. The rabbit people scattered. Then everything goes sideways, and there's some creature in the trees, just tentacles snaking down and picking people up, and there's more gunfire, there's screams, so many screams, more death, and we're just running. Gigi and we're running for the car. We pick up Skeen and Allison, and we're just trying to get out of there. Wrecked into the Jeep. Barely got away from the tentacles. This guy just jumps on the side of the Bronco of the sheriff's Bronco as we're getting away. Got down to the Auburn, winched it out of the ditch, and just got the hell out of Dodge. I mean, I know you have lots of questions, and I'll answer what I can. But please, tell me what's happened to my friends, my family.
Now, where we left everyone was you all were piling into the car.
Yeah, we were winching it out of the ditch.
Yeah, you had winched it out of the ditch and were piling into Skeen's Auburn. And you were piling in with a new person, one who had leapt onto the side of the Bronco as you were peeling away from the cabin, one who looks an awful lot like a younger Carl Kane.
Yeah.
However, where we're going to pick up is 3 days later.
Record scratch. As we skip forward through time. What kind of records do you listen to?
I don't have a record player.
Well, that explains it.
I'd say I just have an iPod, but that got stolen years ago. So really, I've just got whatever music I happen to have on my computer or my phone. So, yeah, it is 3 days later, and you have spent much of that time in jail.
Oh, dear.
I know. Shocking. There was one police officer left in the town of Spirit Bay, Elk Island, and his name is Ivan Fresk, and he was the dispatcher. He really a rookie. He just had been hired like not that long before, and so here he is now having to deal with this. And there's still repairs going on to the dock after the incident with the ferry back when you most of you first arrived. And so there's that action going on. There's whatever happened out in the woods going on. And Ivan Fresk is just not up to the task. But he has been trying to do his best. And he occasionally brings you out to interrogate you and to talk with you. And we have heard some of those interrogations on the intros to these sessions. But Ivan does have more questions, and I'm sure you do as well. And so let's just go around and see what it is you have to say at the moment. So I'm going to actually start with Jason. And so Jason, Ivan comes in and he does the thing that he does where he pulls this chair that's sitting against the wall over. It's a fold-out chair. And he flops it down and he sits on it, spins it around backwards and he sits on it. And then he goes,
"Okay, everybody, then. So, Mr. Kane, what is it that, you've said what you believe happened up there, but I've just got to try to confirm this because, again, we found just some blood, but no bodies whatsoever."
Whoa, like what? The bodies weren't there?
Like, I've said this a few times already, man.
The only way I can explain it is what I told you before about, the creature in the night.
Yeah, creature. You're talking about,
tentacles.
that's crazy talk, man. It's going to get you put in county.
Well, I'm not going to be able to tell you anything else. This is what happened. I know it sounds insane, and I told you wouldn't believe me, but there are darker things going on, and I think we all need to get off this island.
Well, maybe, but now, so who is it you say took, Mr. Carl Kane?
Are we all there, or is it just Jason?
It's just Jason.
Okay.
Okay.
Last I knew, Carl was in the hospital, and a vegetable.
We've gone over this. The night that you say a tentacle monster attacked you from the trees, Mr. Carl Kane, inheritor of sorts to the Kane dynasty, disappeared from the Elk Island Community Hospital.
And you think I had something to do with it? I was up at the woods. Is the cabin still even there? I know it was on fire last we left. There's obviously more blood than can come out of just us.
Okay, I see I'm going to get nowhere with you.
and he puts his chair up. He goes into another holding cell because these are separated because they have that kind of budget here on Elk Island. And goes in to talk to one Ms. G.G. Marin.
All right, Ms. G.G. Marin. I have the same questions I've had for you. You're not going to keep sticking to this story, are you?
Yes, yes, no, yes. There was giant tentacle monster and people in bunny suits. Heads? Just heads, no suits.
That doesn't even make any sense. Where would you get all the bunny suits?
Yeah, I didn't purchase them. We were in a cabin searching for our cousins. Our cousin? Our cousin, singular cousin. Jason was with us. That's correct. And we were surrounded by human beings, very real human beings in animal masks who attempted to murder us all. What happened afterwards was rather confused. I was stabbed, so I can't be sure that anything that actually happened wasn't some kind of hallucination. However, there were definitely very real humans there with weapons attempting to kill us.
From a distant room, Skeen yells, "I'm really glad that you consider me family, but I'm not really, just sort of by marriage, but not..."
It's technically marriage counts in cousins, right? Second cousin? Are you my second cousin, Skeen?
Keep it down in there,
yells Ivan Fresk.
Yeah, it doesn't help that you put us in rooms where we can hear through the walls.
Yeah, you really should get some insulation in here. It's not terrifically warm either.
We don't have a very good budget.
I can tell.
All right, well, I'm now going to move on to the most problematic of all of you.
And he leaves.
Allison?
Yeah, he goes to talk to
Allison's just
Allison.
a real troublemaker.
And he goes to talk to Carl Kane. But what story have you been spinning here, younger Carl? Or have you been spinning any story?
Carl Kane, Private, United States Army.
What, no serial number?
No, Carl Kane, Private, United States Army.
You don't want to give yourself like a lieutenant status or something?
Lieutenants get fragged.
Right. So you're going to say the same thing you've said for 3 days now.
We all chorus along. Carl Kane, United States Army.
I don't understand you people. You'd think you'd want to get out of jail.
For the record, we don't understand you either. We're telling you what has happened.
Internally, young Carl is thinking, actually, it's the safest place I've been in quite some time now.
From the front room, kind of distantly, but the front of the station, the lobby area, you hear a distant voice yell, "Hello? Is anyone here? Anyone at all? Ding, ding, ding."
Carl Kane, Private.
Ivan glares at Carl and says,
That's right. You just keep saying it over and over again until it drives you mad. I'll be back.
and he goes, and you hear the door close between the hallway that leads to the rooms where you guys are being kept and the front area of the sheriff's office here in Spirit Bay.
Carl Kane, Private, United States Army. Is your name really Carl?
Carl Kane,
Okay.
Private,
Are you named after anyone, or,
grandfather.
Oh, interesting.
You hear some voices out there in the front. It's hard to make out. You could give it a try if you want to.
Yes! Can I use my Snoop specialization? Yeah. Oh, thanks, Dice, for betraying me. What is that? No, it's a 13, unfortunately.
Would you like to spend a survival point to re-roll that?
You know what? Sure, it's a low-stress situation. Okay, that's better. It's a 22.
22. Anybody else going to give this a go?
Nope.
Gigi, what you hear is, oh yes, my name is Owl Nazzoni, and these are my associates, Frank Norman and Susie Call. You may refer to us as agents.
Here come the men in black.
And this voice says, so you're gonna need to let me speak with the witnesses. I don't think this is my voice. I think it needs to change because I don't want to continue doing like pseudo Texan Southern voices for people here in the Pacific Northwest.
Pretend Nathan. You're just stuck on Pretend Nathan.
Yeah. Let me try again. Oh.
That's a great voice. Use that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hi there, children. I'm Agent Brown.
My name is Al Nazzoni.
You may call us agents.
Yeah, agents right there.
I'm here to question the
I'm the leader.
witnesses.
I'll question the witnesses.
Wow. Then I just need me some of that there. Okay, anyway.
We're not helpful to you. I'm so sorry.
That's outtake stuff there. Yes, officer. I'm Agent Al Nazzoni, and these are my associates, Frank Norman and Susie Call. We'll need to be speaking with the witnesses to the events. I understand that you are the only officer left, the only deputy left in the Elk Island Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, that's right. I'm the only one left here. Everybody else is gone. It's just bloodstains, is what I'm saying. And these ones had the fingerprints and stuff all over the
I don't need to know the details as you know them, sir. I need to know the details as they know them. So if you could send them over to, I believe it is Katie's Coffee House, that would be great.
Back in the back of the jail, Gigi kind of sighs a little bit because that's her lesser of least favorite of the two coffee houses here in town.
And Agent Nizoni says, as soon as you are able to get a hold of them, I assume they're staying up at the lodge, but do just send them down as quickly as you can and let me know. Here is my number.
Well, no, sir. They're right back here in the back. I've been keeping them right good in the cells ever since they came down off the mountain.
I'm sorry, they're in the cells. You have kept them in cells for 3 days?
Yes, sir. That's right.
Have you charged them with anything?
No, sir.
Well, that's illegal, son. You go back there and you release them. And I think they're probably going to need a drink. How about you send them up to that Bruco that I saw? What's it called? Susie?
Yeah, I think it's the Bad Fish.
Yeah, the Bad Fish.
The Bad Fish.
Bruco. Yeah. So within the hour, thanks. And then there's a dinging of a bell as they leave. Shortly, clump, 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 clump. Back comes Ivan.
Well, looks like somebody posted your bail, so to speak.
I'm just smirking unashamedly at him.
There's a few FBI agents here to see you. They want you to come up to the Bad Fish within the hour, so I'm going to let you go, but we may have questions for you in the, future.
Yes, what happened in the woods? Was there really a tentacle creature? Did the people really have rabbit masks? Where did they purchase them? Yes, we know the drill. Oh no, the Bad Fish. Oh dear, such a terrible... Let me out.
He does. He unlocks the doors and lets you all out, including Skeen and...
I told you couldn't keep us here.
What he said.
Allison, who brought actually on just today, after being released from the clinic, where she had been for a couple of days under observation because of her wounds that she had taken during the escape from the house.
Allison, are you okay?
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I think so. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 limbs. Yeah, that's how many you're supposed to have, right?
2 eyes, both nostrils. You didn't lose an ear, did you?
0 tentacles.
Oh, great. That's wonderful. Good news.
At that, do we notice Carl look over towards us?
And then younger Carl Kane comes down the hallway.
Carl Kane, Private, United States Army. Is that your full name? Bit of a mouthful.
Name and rank.
Do you mind if I call you Carl just for short?
What is longer than Carl? That's short for?
Short for Carl Kane, Private, United States Army. Never mind.
Sure.
It's okay.
And Carl is just like looking around. He has that skeptical look, like just everything is confusing, or he's not certain what to believe here.
I turn around and like in front of my chest, I make a pointing motion towards him at Jason. I'm like, what is this guy doing?
I'm not sure, but maybe we'll find out on the way.
I hope so.
So you step out into the bright sunlight of a pleasant mid to late January day in the Pacific Northwest on an island. So that means it's cold. It snowed sometime while you were in prison. But it is sunny. It's pleasant in that way.
I want to yell back through the door. Thanks again for the hospitality, Deputy Ivan, and close the door on him.
A little LJ going on there.
Yeah, there we go. Excellent. I don't think Gigi's the high-fiving type, but I approve for sure. Well, I suppose we're walking there. It's a good thing it's a small town.
Wait a minute, says Skeen. And they go back inside, and you hear yelling. And then finally Ivan, comes running out and then goes around the corner and unlocks a gate and then brings out the Auburn.
I'm doing one of like, Skeen, you told off Deputy. I'm so proud of you.
They lean in. Wouldn't be the first time.
Oh.
I drove an ambulance for a while. You end up
What?
killing off the cops a lot.
I need you to tell me more about your life, but not right now.
We're supposed to go up to the bad fish?
Yes. Apparently, men in black want to treat us to martinis or whatever the Bradfish serves.
Yeah, okay. Now I'm questioning that, but at the same time, can they get us the hell out of here? Carl, are you in with us?
Oh, yes. Did anyone else hear that, by the way? They introduced themselves as agents. There's 3 of them, and they were sincerely unimpressed with the deputy's treatment of us, which is just and correct.
I guess I don't have anything else to do. Maybe I'll get some answers.
Yeah, answers. After what we've seen, that would be nice. As we start piling in the car,
Yeah.
like I start moseying over, it's like, okay.
The 37 Auburn is large enough to hold all of you. Pretty much all of you could be in the back seat, but there is a front seat, passenger seat. Who wants that?
So, just out of curiosity, would young Carl remember this car?
Yes, indeed, you do.
Is there like an awkward moment where like you go towards the driver's seat just out of like habit?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, he stops and looks at the car and looks around, and it's, he's comforted to see this car because it's something that makes sense. It's something familiar, something that he knows what it is and that it's supposed to be here. So yeah, you guys kind of see him walk around towards the front and have that awkward moment with Skeen.
They bump together.
That's wonderful.
He's like, "This is your car?"
It is. I inherited it from Lazarus Kane.
From Lazarus, who is
Dead.
Dead now because you inherited the car.
Yes.
That's correct.
Got
That's
it.
how that works.
Okay. Did he die recently?
Oh,
A few weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago, yes.
Gotcha. And you are related to Lazarus how?
I'm not ish,
It's
kind
a long
of.
story.
It's a long story.
It's
go
a
ahead
short story for me. I'm his son, and he gave me up for adoption.
And all of his siblings are gone?
He's my great uncle.
Oh, no.
Well, we don't know what happened to
Carl.
Carl, the
As I
elder.
stare Carl down, I'm like staring down Carl. We don't know what happened to Carl Kane. So I think you need to come clean with us.
I don't know what happened to him either. He says with a very straight face. Because it is an
'Cause you
honest
don't.
statement.
Okay. I guess that's kind of where Jason was poking to see if this was the same Carl.
I mean, you could see it as, is that where Jason's mind would go after tentacles? Or would you think more like another son who is...
That's
What am I still wearing? Am I still wearing my fatigues, as it were?
Good question. Would Ivan have given you a change of clothing over the course of the 3 days you spent in his cells?
No.
No, because it's Ivan. So yeah, you guys reek.
I imagine, though, that Ivan would let us borrow, like, jumpsuits, like prison garb, while he washed our clothes and brought it back to us.
like at
Well,
his
that's
mom's
true.
house,
Yeah,
like he took our clothes to his mom's laundry and washed them and brought
Okay.
them back.
So if someone would like to spend a survival point to have had a shower and clean clothes,
Yeah, no, I don't.
I
I don't
will.
care. I don't care.
No, I'm good.
sounds like Jason is spending it. You know what I don't have up here
Is
is
detention
the
tracker.
Tracker.
Oh yeah,
I need
yeah.
to do that right now. Amuse yourselves for a moment as you're driving up to the Bad Fish Bruco. It'll take you all of about a minute and 30 seconds to get there.
I was just gonna say, I think right now where Gigi's at is she's like questioning. She's like, I don't think Carl had a grandson, but clearly this gentleman is here and named after his grandfather. Therefore, he is my Uncle Carl's grandson.
Carl's doing the he's being oddly quiet, but he's definitely checking out the car. Like you see him reaching up and just rubbing his hand across the dash, fiddling with little pieces here and there, and he seems to be really inspecting the car. He's fascinated by it.
I'll pop up in between the seats with both elbows on the front seats and be like, yes, it's real, what wood did you say it was, Skeen? Walnut? Cherry? I don't remember. I don't know woods. Pine? That's a wood.
Mahogany?
Mahogany? That's a wood.
And then Skeen shrugged.
It's some kind of wood.
Custom mahogany, shipped from Brazil.
Is that where mahogany grows? Jason, do you know where mahogany grows? I'm just like this the whole ride. I'm trying to bother Carl into saying more about himself.
I don't know what's going on, and I hope we can get some answers, but I don't know who else is with me, but there's something not right with this island.
Oh God, do you think? Something not right with this island, Jason? Which is covered in rabbit-headed people and who wants to kill everyone with our heritage, and octopuses coming out of the trees and murdering sheriffs right in front of us? Yes, oh God, something wrong. I would never have thought so.
Do we know why they're trying to kill the family?
I can always count on your sarcasm and wit.
I can count on a calculator.
You'd think we were family or something.
Oh God.
Speaking of family, Carl, what part of the Kane heritage do you have?
Which branch of the tree did they lop you off of?
There's a pause there where Carl is actively thinking of how best to answer that. I believe we can trace our lineage back to Lazarus's parents.
Yes, Lazarus's parents. Which what's the right word for this? Which, I suppose, of Lazarus's siblings' lines do you come from? 'Cause, I'm down from, what was her name? Lisbeth? No. Embereth, sorry. Lisbeth is the Kittredges.
I don't think you would believe me if I told you.
Oh, golly! Unbelievable things? Like octopi, giant ones grabbing people from the shadows?
We gotta stop feeding her this. She's just gonna keep coming back at us. Yes, there's crazy tentacle monsters out there.
Lazarus Kane Sr.'s wife was Rebecca Kane.
Oh, there was a Lazarus Kane Sr. Ooh.
Yeah, my grandpa. It almost makes me wonder if I would have stayed with the family if I would have been Lazarus the Third.
Oh God, Jason! Don't even suggest it.
Oh, I know.
Hey guys, says Allison. You said agents, like what? FBI, CIA?
They didn't say.
Men in Black? What?
They didn't say. They just said agents.
What do those letters mean?
Oh.
Federal Bureau of Investigation, Central Intelligence Agency, any of this? NSA?
Men in Black stands for Men in Black.
Since Sharon rolled last, Jason, why don't you roll investigate a mystery? Oh wait, no.
Wrong game.
That's not right. Since Sharon just rolled, Jesse, why don't you roll an identify check for Jason?
For Jason, all right.
This is non-risky.
Ooh. Let's see, 17 plus 3, 20.
20. Nice. You can pretty easily identify Carl Kane, private U.S. Army. His uniform is World War II military wear. So perhaps he's a cosplayer, reenactor.
Gigi, this is Carl.
Yes, he said Carl Kane, private United States Army.
No, you don't get it. Carl, you have a brother named Lazarus. Your father's name is Lazarus.
Wait. That's the other Carl. That's Carl the Elder.
No,
who was in the hospital.
This is him now, because he's not in the hospital anymore.
Jason, are you telling me that our uncle has gone back in time?
You tell me, is there tentacle things coming out of the sky and slapping us around?
All right. Yes, there's tentacle things coming out of the sky and slapping us around.
Skeen slams the brakes on.
Don't kill him!
There's a Prius that, like, screeches around you. And they turn and go, what the bloody ever-loving bloody hell-loving bloody, what the...
Did you just say broccoli, Skeen?
Broccoli?
You're my best friend, and I love you very much.
Double broccoli.
Okay, but seriously, Carl, do you have a sister named Embereth and another called Lisbeth?
Names sound familiar.
Since Richard hasn't gotten to roll yet tonight so far, let's go ahead and let Richard roll an obscure and see how well Carl is lying.
Not that well. It's a 14 total.
Okay, against your passive identify.
Oh, passive identify is it's 10 plus whatever your modifier is.
Right.
14.
And you got that right on it right there, Carl?
Yep, exactly a 14.
Okay. Well, that is a success. However, I have tension points that I can spend. And I can spend them on Identify and Obscure. And I'm going to knock that roll down a peg. You failed your obscuring. So, Gigi, Carl is being very cagey, but there's a look in his eye as if, you know, what you're saying is causing him, well, confusion and recognition and maybe some other things that you can't quite identify.
Like, you get the vision of him, like, aging, like, really quick, and you see him helping you.
Yeah.
And you see him helping you out of the water from the ferry.
He's got like a let's see, what's a very like 90s sci-fi movie? Like he's got like a way that he like, I don't know, twitches the side of his mouth or something that's like identical.
Oh, that could very well be some quirk.
Some kind of motion or yeah.
Just out of curiosity, do we know the date?
So it was the 18th when you were out of the cabin. So today is the 21st.
Somewhere in the world, Sharon's about to turn 23.
Okay, so you are braked, but you're braked right at the pull into the driveway for the Bad Fish Brewery. And you see that there is a big black, obviously government SUV parked in the a handicap spot.
Oh, that's interesting. Usage of handicap. Carl, what the hell?
Well, at least they're not real estate agents.
What?
Allison says, I thought that Officer Fresk referred to them as FBI agents.
They just said agents.
Yeah, but Fresk said FBI when he was talking to us.
Fresk is so knowledgeable. I'm sure he knew exactly what he was talking about.
Skeen laughs.
He could have seen their badges for all I know.
Oh, that's true. I overheard them, but I didn't see their badges.
And in any case, Skeen shakes their head and puts the car back into drive and then very carefully pulls in to the Bad Fish Brewco parking lot and parks in the handicap spot right next to the government SUV.
Does it still have the handicap tags from Lazarus?
It actually probably
Oh
does.
my God.
That's awesome.
But you notice actually that the SUV does too.
Oh.
Interesting.
Okay, so I shouldn't make assumptions about government vehicles using handicap spots. All right, lesson learned.
I'm climbing out and heading in. Anybody else with me?
Obviously, you're just willing to climb out the car without opening the door first, Jason, you madman.
You guys are getting almost used to driving around in the Auburn without the top on it. In the cold in January.
I assume it has
Washington
a top,
State.
right, Skeen? I've never seen you use it, but it must have a top somewhere.
Oh, it has a top. Yeah, there's a top.
All right, we go inside.
You know the Bad Fish a little bit, and the way that it's positioned is it is actually on the harbor. There, the Spirit Bay, and it has a deck out in back that in nicer weather is open and overlooks the water and the fishing boats and such, and always smells like fish. But in the winter, that section is only open for people who want to go out and take pictures. There's no service out there. But inside, there are a number of tables. It's all very nautical themed in here. Most of the seating around the walls are benches with red leatherette, but it's all darker woods and low lighting with harpoons and taxidermied fish and such on the walls. The bar is just a long affair with just a crap ton of liquor behind it that they bring in for the locals. But it is a brewco as well, and that's their primary thing. So they've got like a 20 tap service of all the different kind of beers that they have. But there is one larger table, and it's toward the back, toward the entrance doors to the deck, and it's kind of separated out from the front area. It's not like completely separate. It's not a whole separate room or anything, but there's some steps down.
Maybe a pony wall.
And and there's if that's a short wall, then yes.
Yes.
One of those like half walls.
It's where they put the pony kegs.
If there's a line of ponies that are just very well
Then
trained,
probably no.
that are just lined up.
Are they
Some
pretty?
people use them as service animals.
Yeah, it's not. No, there's a low wall, which apparently is called a pony wall.
I've never heard that before.
You
That's
learn
really
something
great.
new every day.
I'm glad I could broaden your minds.
Ooh,
The more you know.
the more you know.
Jason does that quick scan, sees obviously the agents, looks back.
Who are sitting at that large table, which was my implication in all of that.
Yep.
That's what I assumed.
And resigns to it, looks behind him really quick to make sure that somebody sees where he's going and hopefully following, strides off towards the table.
So there's only one agent sitting at the table, but there are two others, and they're all wearing suits. I mean, they really are wearing, it's like Men in Black stuff, because it's like, black suits, ties, but of a particular make and model that just shouts out government agent. And so the other two, one of them is a woman, and she is actually up at the bar ordering a very large pint and a half, because the Badfish Brewco has what they call the
Bastard pint.
I love it.
Bastard pint.
Yes.
It's a hand and a half.
That's amazing. That's
Is
so
that a real
nerdy.
thing? Is
I
this a
don't
real
know,
thing?
but
Are
I
we
sure
learning
hope it
even
is,
more?
because if
That's
it's
a
not,
real
I'm
thing.
used to be a real
It's-
now.
That's so good. Okay, somebody please invent the Badfish so I can visit it.
Absolutely. The next time I go to a Brewco, I am ordering a bastard pint.
My God,
and they're
that's
going
so
to go,
good.
what? And I'm going to tell them that, and they're going to make that.
That's awesome.
Oh my God, that's so good.
All right, everybody, that's it for us tonight. I hope you had a good time here on the Gothic Podcast.
In case y'all are not convinced,
we're gonna
that
go get some bastard
huge,
pints.
ginormous nerds.
We're going to go pick
Yeah.
up some bastard pints at one of the local Brewcos.
We have to go make that a thing.
Hey Patrick, next T-shirt that we come out with for the podcast, it should say Badfish
yes.
Brewco,
The home of the bastard
Yeah.
pint.
Oh, and Badfish Brewco.
home of the bastard pint.
Yes, yes.
Writing it down.
Badfish Brewco, home of the bastard pint.
And then in parentheses, it's a hand and a half.
Then there is a rather small fellow who is standing with his hands clasped behind his back. Carl, you recognize the stance that he has. It's very military, and he is staring out into the bay through the windows that look out from the deck. But the other agent, well, he's sitting down, but he looks like he is probably a tall fellow, broad of shoulder, wearing the same suit as everybody else, but his features, his high cheekbones, is a very Native American look to him. And he stands up as you guys come in and are obviously who you are. And he comes around the table, and you see that he is using a pretty ornate walking cane and limping, favoring his left leg quite a bit. He comes around to the bottom of the steps that go down into the conference room area, such as the Badfish has, and looks up at you and smiles. Very friendly smile, engaging.
Gigi's kind of sauntering behind Jason, hands in her coat, the pockets of her increasingly shredded coat, and just kind of like immediately distrusts a friendly smile from a person in a Men in Black suit.
He says, please come down and have a seat. I am Agent Owl Nishoni.
What? Owl Miss Honey?
Owl Nishoni.
I wrote that down wrong before.
OWL space NIZHONI.
I don't mean to be rude, Agent Nizoni. What agency are you with, and can we see your badges?
Oh, certainly. He reaches into his pocket, balancing with a lot of pressure on the cane, and flips out his badge in its case. And it is indeed FBI.
The Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Yes,
Yes,
the
Carl.
Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Got it.
What do you want from us, and how can you help us?
Well, first of all, I understand that you've spent 3 days in jail, so I want you to have a seat and a beer.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
On the U.S. government.
Could I trade that in for a martini?
Certainly. Go for it, he says. I hear they have excellent martinis here.
Very salty.
Jason starts to get a little bit more suspicious and just starts looking back and forth between the agents, trying to keep an eye on things and just making sure everything's legit.
Skeen says, You've heard wrong, because the martinis here suck.
That's why I like them, Skeen. I would like a dirty martini with gin, stirred, and Kalamata olives if they have them. And I go and plop myself down at the table with my feet up on the table.
Not the first time feet have been on that table. Agent Nizoni goes back around to the chair that he was sitting in, and he thumps down into it. But he is, you saw, as it was implied when you were just looking at him sitting down, but he is a big, powerful, muscular guy. But something has really mangled that left leg. There's something misshapen even about the cut of the suit pants. And so he says, after your drinks have arrived, then I believe we can talk. But first I'd like to apologize for the local police force.
Oh, that's a force.
That's apparently all that's left of the force here, yes.
Your other agents, what were their names?
He points to the one at the windows and says, that is Agent Frank Norman. Say hello, Frank. And Frank turns around. You see that he has a kind of a square face and a mustache that goes almost toward...
Oh, the one that goes all the way down to your chin?
Like the old sheriff style?
Yeah.
That's the one. What is that?
There's a name for that.
He has that brushy Sam Elliott mustache thing going on, and he just nods. He doesn't say anything. They're at the bar getting her third...
Bastard pint.
Bastard pint is Agent Susie Call, and she goes, turns around and goes, cheers, and sips on her beer.
You were called in. Who called you in?
That's a good question. Yes.
Well, that would have been, some of the missing are foreign nationals, and so we are able to be brought in on this.
I've heard that phrase in movies before. What exactly does that mean? Foreign nationals.
Canadian.
Oh. Well, that's less exciting than I thought it was.
Anyway, tell me about the tentacles.
So...
Yeah, what, no dinner first?
You believe us?
I don't not believe you.
I didn't see any tentacles.
What happened to your leg?
You don't just ask about what happened to people's legs.
Well, you don't just ask people about tentacles either.
Now that's fair. That's a private, personal thing.
Right, yeah. So bitten by a shark.
Oh.
Now the tentacles.
They came out of the trees, snatched several sheriffs, ripped apparently all the limbs off of one of them, and tried several times to do the same to us.
How old does this individual look?
He is probably mid-30s.
Yep.
And Frank Norman is probably in his 40s. Susie Call is also in her 30s, but younger than Owl. How would you describe the tentacles? Octopus tentacles, squid tentacles, hentai tentacles,
What?
That one.
Cthulian tentacles.
What's hentai?
Oh, Carl, don't ask.
If you don't know, I'm not going to describe it to you.
Google it, says Skeen.
They weren't like any tentacles that could be biologically explained. It was almost as if they were thick smoke, is one of the best ways I can explain it.
Like Lost TV show smoke.
You know, I never did watch Lost. so I don't know what you're talking
Jason,
about.
we have got to get some culture into you. Yes, if octopi were made out of the same special effects as the Dementors in Harry Potter, the movie adaptations, perhaps that might approximate what we experienced.
At some point, a notepad had appeared in his hands, and he's taking notes. You didn't really see it happen.
It's magic.
That or he's a mind flayer and he just time warped on us.
That would explain the tentacles.
Right?
I'm not looking directly at him, so I'm assuming I just missed it.
Would Jason notice, as a sleight of hand expert, that moment where he grabs it and flips it out?
Sure. Go ahead and roll on identify.
Spend a survival point on it?
Yeah, spend a survival point. No, you can roll an identify on that.
15.
Okay, just what you needed. You recognize, it's just a simple little illusionist trick, a little prestidigitation thing. He reached for his drink with one hand while flipping out the notepad with the other, so that everybody else, if they were looking at him, was on the glass. He appears to be having seltzer, not ginger ale or anything, but like straight seltzer.
Appearances can be deceiving.
Indeed.
Okay. Going back to memory, is there anything that I remember, like, specifically remarkable about the tentacles? Like, were there any markings?
They had hooks on them, like blackberry thorns or spikes of some kind.
That's right. They were kind of spiked.
Yes, rather than the usual octopus-like suckers.
Were they spiked all along the thing, or was it just like at the end?
All along it.
Okay. I'm going to... Okay, yeah.
Like this, and he holds up the notepad, and turns out he wasn't writing notes, he was sketching. And he has this really nicely shaded and done tree, forest area. And then there's these almost amorphous tentacles coming down with spikes and things out of them. But it doesn't even come down. It's not like coming out of the trees. It's like coming down out of the space above the trees. Like there's some sort of shadowy presence there. Like this.
Is it like super accurate to what we actually saw?
It's super accurate.
I'm going to do one of those things where I try and push myself backwards from the table really fast.
Me as well.
I've been leaning back with my feet on the table, I end up falling over.
And I'm going to look over at Gigi.
Yes.
I'll say Carl does kind of the opposite. He leans in to get a closer look and does tentacles. Okay.
Excellent. Next question then, and he flips the page. Bunny-headed people. Now, were these people whose heads were actually bunnies?
No, they just look like masks.
When he says it, he sounds like he is absolutely ready for you to say that they were people with actual bunny heads.
No, one of them took their mask off for me.
Yeah, they were just people in bunny masks.
He turns to Carl. Did you know them?
No, she said she knew me, though.
She. Did she say who she was, by chance? That would be useful.
She was daughter-in-law of Carl's... How would that be? What did she say? So Carl's son was married, and something happened to him, and that's who that was. I lied and said I was his son's son.
Yeah, so that would then have been Candace Kane.
Yeah, that's who she said she was. That's it.
I look at, I lock eyes with Jason, and I'm like,
yeah,
I knew.
I'm like...
like, with my face, I'm saying I knew.
I give that knowing nod, and like, I told you.
Yeah, she's also among the missing.
She was with the bunny people. There was more of them.
Yeah, there are 12 members of the Spirit Bay populace who are missing, in addition to the 3 sheriff's deputies, well, the 2 sheriff's deputies and the sheriff, who are also missing, leaving us, of course, and he chuckles a little bit, with Officer Ivan Fresk.
She said they had to kill all the Kane family members.
That's interesting. Did they say why?
No, we didn't get to that before the, what'd you call them? Tentacles.
They said something.
We did overhear something.
Along the lines of, history not repeating itself. or
about
something
they can't
to that
let this
effect.
happen
Something,
again.
They can't let this happen again. What has come before will not reoccur, or some such nonsense. They were wearing rabbit masks
And we were scared and trying not to
and
die.
shooting at us.
So what can you tell us about this bunny Mormon cult?
He laughs. I'm not sure that I can tell you much. We are still investigating. We just arrived this morning, but I believe that there is something going on here on Elk Island that goes back much further than your bunny Mormon cult.
Gosh, do you think so?
Are you talking?
Have you seen anything like this? He holds up another sheet of the paper. It is a horrible monstrosity of waving arms, not tentacles, but arms, and
Like human arms?
all draped with moss, and it's all in black and white, so it's hard to tell, but it looks like human arms, with hands on the end, but it's just this big mass of that. You see anything like that?
No.
I want to say yes.
What? Jason, did you just say yes? Have you seen something like this?
I don't know if I'm allowed to introduce something.
Oh, you could spend a survival point to introduce another element to the story.
You could spend a survival point to introduce another. That's true. That is true.
I'll say yes for now, but also look like I'm really not ready to talk about it.
Roll for me.
Damn it.
No, you can't. I'm going to roll an obscure against your identify. Because I have forgotten my dice again, I'm going to roll it in roll 20.
For this, can I use my survival point to switch attributes?
Interesting. I think the answer is yes.
Okay, before you roll, I'm going to do that then.
Nice. All right. Interesting.
So that'll give me a 15 that you got to beat.
19.
Okay. That was worthless. I should have just left it like it was.
You have a flash of memory, but you shake it off. It was when you were walking across the bridge to the lighthouse, and you thought you saw something out of the corner of your eye down by the water on the beach, but you decided later it was seals. And now that's kind of hanging there in your brain, but it's not, seals is still the best you've got. And now, last question for the moment. Then I can't feel that Officer Fresk has treated you well over the past couple of days, and so I'm expecting you'll want to be getting rooms up at the lodge or someplace to freshen up.
For FBI agents, you don't understand that we do have rooms up there.
Again, I just arrived this morning.
Our reservations there were supposed to actually end, I think, the night that the cabin burned down. That was supposed to be our final night there, and then we were going to... Wasn't this right? We were going to go up to the manor and stay with Allison and keep her company?
Yes.
So I don't know if they've kept our things or...
The register there showed you being checked out 2 nights ago.
Okay.
Oh, great.
But I suspect that if you left your things there, that those things are either in impound with Officer Fresk, or they are there behind the counter, so to speak.
Allison, did you have your servants grab all your stuff?
I don't think
you.
Wait, no, I don't have servants.
Yet.
Do I have servants?
No, I'm sorry. That was
Gigi?
bad. She didn't really hire anybody yet.
Do I have servants? I
No,
hired some people to do stuff.
You hired a housekeeping service, but that's not the same thing.
That's not. Yeah, Allison, do you have a problem with us staying at the house?
Oh,
with you?
no, of course not. More the merrier.
And where will you be staying, agents?
Agent Nisoni says, well, we'll be staying at the lodge. I hear they have excellent pie. Anyway, the last question, and it's kind of important. Why would Carl Kane be walking through the woods wearing only a hospital gown?
Well, he was in the hospital.
You found Carl?
Why was he in the hospital?
There was a bad accident. There was a bad car accident.
It was a terrible... Yes, we had not spoken to him since before the accident, and to come back and find that he was gone was a...
kind of a surprise.
Yeah, a surprise, a shame. But you saw him.
Oh, no, there's There's security camera footage.
Well, can we see it?
I don't have it on me.
Oh.
But there is security camera footage from the weather station and cell phone tower emplacement up on
top of the
Fog
mountain?
Yep, that's the one.
Carl, the old man who'd been in a coma after a terrible car accident?
And where did he end up from there?
No idea, but everyone who was manning the weather station is dead.
What?
And on that note, it is the end of this episode of the Gothic Podcast.
No, there's too many questions.
Ah!
The Gothic Podcast is an actual play audio drama produced by C. Patrick Nagel, starring C. Patrick Nagel, Sharon Gollery-Lafournaise, Jesse Baldwin, and Richard Southard. Theme music is by Zoe Hovland, with cover artwork by Jared George Art. Season 2 of the Gothic Podcast uses rules from the Monster of the Week RPG by Michael Sands and the Dead of Night RPG by Steam Power Publishing. Look us up by name on all the social medias or email us at thegothicpodcast@gmail.com. Support for the Gothic Podcast comes from you, our listeners, so please rate, review, and share. And check out our Patreon page, too. Thanks.
I kept waiting for the FBI agents to ask young Carl who the hell he is.
I have to know,
Nope.
did I get my martini? No, I'm kidding.
I think the FBI agents kind of know in some way if they knew about everything else.
They have, they're like, oh, we know this, like, very intimate thing. But, oh, we just got here this morning.